Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Rzeszów for the 7th and last day at the European Aquatics Junior Diving Championship. The last two finals this afternoon on schedule. The Girls A 3-meter springboard final that is about to start in just a few minutes. And later at 5 o'clock, we'll have the Boys A platform final. We had these two preliminary rounds in the morning at 10 and at 12:20. We had on the 3-meter Girls A prelims, we had Giorgia De Sanctis from Italy getting the first place, Signe Stahl from Sweden second, and Diana Karnafel third. Diana was the one diver who won the 1-meter Girls A springboard final. So let's see how things are gonna go this afternoon on 3-meter. Also, and we're about to see the ladies stepping on deck for their presentation. Here they are. Last year at this event. Presentation first. Amelie Enia Forster from Romania, the first diver. Second diver in this final is Natalia Pipovarska. Annie Szabo from Hungary, number 3. Number 4, Amelie Underwood from Great Britain. Number 5, Rebecca Ciancaglini from Italy. Number 6, Amy Wright from Great Britain. 7, Vanessa Roenis, Germany. Her teammate in 8, Emily Steinhagen from the Czech Republic, starting number 9, Teresa Jelinkova. From Ukraine in 10, Diana Karnefeld. From Sweden, Signe Stahl. And last, starting in this final, the winner of this morning prelims, Giorgia De Sanctis. The ladies are about to get ready. We'll see them in just a couple of minutes on the springboards. And as I was telling you before, last year this event was won by Elisa Pizzini from Italy with 428.85 points. Rebecca Ciancaglini, who is also, and Emily Steinhagen, who are also in this final, got silver and bronze medal. Now referees and judges are presented. Then we'll start. As always, in this final also, the ladies are carrying with them in the final peak scores from the 5 dives with a limited degree of difficulty from the morning session. And given those scores, we have Signe Stahl right now in the lead at 209.75 points. Excellent job on her voluntary dives. While on screen you can see the panel of the judges, and we have in second place in the standings right now Giorgia De Sanctis with 198 points. So Signe Stahl has 11.50 points gap advantage in front of Giorgia. Diana Karnefeld is in third at 197. All the others are all very, very close, because if you think about this, at the moment, after the first 5 rounds of the morning, the ladies start with, okay, Signe Stahl has quite an advantage, 11 points, but behind her, Giorgia De Sanctis, Diana Karnefeld, Rebecca Ciancaglini, Teresa Jelinkova, and Emily Steinhagen, they're all within 7 points. So a very close gap there between five divers, yes. We are almost ready. Just a few seconds now. And then we'll have Amelie Forster, here she is, on the board. And we're ready with the first dive in this final. 4 dives. 4 rounds of optionals for the ladies this afternoon. Amelie is starting with a forward 2.5 somersault pike. good dive overall, not excellent, not very high in the air. The jump could have been better. Somewhat vertical, not particularly clean in the entry. 46.80 for the Romanian diver. Next up, Natalia Pivovarska. Natalia starts with a back 2.5 somersault tuck. Oh, an excellent job in his back 2.5 somersault tuck for the Polish diver. Very fast in the somersault. I personally wasn't sure about that takeoff. It seemed a little bit off rhythm when picking up the knees to get in a tuck position, but then she got very, very fast in the somersault. An excellent job, 6.5 and 7s for the Polish diver. Anni Szabo, forward 2.5 somersault pike for the Hungarian. And very similar to the one we've seen by Amelie Forster, not an excellent takeoff. A tiny bit slow caused the dive to be short. 44.40. She's in third place right now. Amelie Underwood, back 2.5 somersault tuck for the British diver. Now we have seen, so far in the first 4 divers, we've seen 2 forward 2.5 somersault and 2 backward 2.5 somersaults. And it's interesting in this ladies competition since they have 4 optionals while we saw Amelie going slightly over. It's interesting to see what the divers decide to compete, because they only have 4 groups and they can get rid of 1, and it's a matter of strategy, whatever is better for you, combination of high degree of difficulty but also not risking too difficult dives in order to don't make huge mistakes. Rebecca Giancaglini, forward 2.5 somersault pike. A good job by the Italian diver, last year of European Junior Championship for her. 7.5 to start her final. In this case, Rebecca is not performing any backward somersaulting diving this option. She's doing forward 2.5 somersault, the forward 2.5 somersault full twist, and reverse 2.5 somersault and inward 2.5 somersault in this competition. Let's move on to Amy Wright from Great Britain. Inward 2.5 somersault tuck, not particularly high in this takeoff. Still gets vertical but not completely straight. A good job in the air but not an excellent job on the takeoff. Third place for her at 222 points. Vanessa Ruenis, back 2.5 somersault tuck. We've seen a few divers starting with a back 2.5 somersault tuck right now. It's a way of getting rid of the backward somersaulting dive, which usually is tricky for some divers, for most of the divers, and also starting without a hurdle. That could be also an issue sometimes to start a competition with a hurdle, and that's the choice of many divers, not starting with hurdles. 6.5 for her, 240, and she's in second place right now. Yeah, I was saying how it's sometimes, usually divers either start with an easy dive with a hurdle, or they start with a standing, either inward or backward somersaulting dives, just to have less risks at when breaking the ice at the opening of a competition. Now Emily Steinhagen, the German diver, this German diver is also doing back 2.5 somersault tuck. Very well executed. Very well executed. Probably just pushed a little bit too far back from the board. That's the only thing I would say about this dive. But overall, very good timing out of the somersault, and she takes the lead. An excellent 63 points on this dive for the German diver. Now, diving 9th, Teresa Jelinkova from the Czech Republic. For Teresa, inward 2.5 somersault tuck. Good takeoff, very fast in the air. The entry is not perfect, quite too many splashes on the short side. Come out of the water, see 6.5, and with a tighter entry, cleaner rip, it would have been a much better scoring dive. Diana Karnefel, winner of the 1 meter girls A final. A forward 2.5 somersault, full twist, the hardest dive of the first round. 3.0 degree of difficulty. A very good hurdle, not an excellent takeoff. Should have been higher and faster, especially in the somersault. Slightly short, other than that, a very good 60 points. Good total score in this round for her, and the degree of difficulty really helped her there. Signestal, she's the one leading so far. She had 209 points with just the first five rounds, in which the degree of difficulty was a cumulative 9.5. Good job on the takeoff for the Swedish diver, not very fast in the come out. Her knees take a very long time to get completely straight out of the tuck position, and that causes the entry not to be very, very clean. She still keeps the lead, 258 points, just 1 point ahead of Ukrainian diver Diana Karnefel. Let's see how Georgia De Sanctis does on her forward 2.5 somersault pike. Easier dive, but we have seen it this morning. She can do it very, very well. And not a great hurdle. Unfortunately for Georgia, a little step back from the drive step. Still gets as high as possible, and very, very clean in the entry. It's an easy, very easy dive, and she loses a few points here. She could have done better. She showed us better in the morning. Where in the morning she got 54 points, 50 only in this afternoon for the Italian diver. We have the standings. Signestal is still leading, just 1 point ahead of Diana Karnefel. Emily Steinhagen in third place at 254. And the two Italians following. Let's move on to the second round already. Very fast first round of dives. Now we have Amelie Enia Forster from Romania in work 2.5 somersault tuck. Far over for the Romanian diver. She came out way too late. Well, probably what happened, not sure, but this is just my idea. Not a great takeoff, not particularly fast in the somersault, neither very high in the takeoff, but probably in her head, she started thinking that she didn't have enough room to make it vertical, and she held on to the tuck position for way too long, causing the dive to go over. Natalia Piwowarska, reverse 2.5 somersault tuck for the Polish diver. Not the takeoff she wanted, very far from the springboard, and also very, very slow in the somersault. 3.5 and 4s. Big miss for the home diver. Annie Sabo from Hungary. For Annie, a back 2.5 somersault tuck. 2.8 degree of difficulty. is not very clean in her tuck position. Her head pulls back too hard while somersaulting. And on the come out, she just goes over. Just not fast enough in the kick. That is typical when on the takeoff, the upper body shifts backwards, then that is carried throughout the whole dive until the entry and over rotates. British diver Amelie Underwood reverses and half somersault tuck for her. A much better takeoff from Amelie Underwood compared to the Polish diver Natalia Pawłowska. We've seen the same dive now, but in this case, she was very, very high and fast in the somersault and waits a little bit longer before coming out. Should have been the come out should have happened earlier and faster. Rebecca Giancaglini now, silver medalist last year in this competition. Forward 2.5 somersault, full twist. The dive is fast enough to get vertical and not very tight in her core. Lets the legs go over past the vertical line. She takes the lead now at 300 points, but this dive should have scored a little bit higher. She's definitely, the Italian diver, Rebecca, is definitely one that is looking for gold here after getting silver on 1 meter this week. Amy Wright, forward 2.5 somersault pike for the British. Good, perfectly vertical. Not extremely clean, but very, very high. With a cleaner entry, this would have been 8.5 for sure. 50 points, 272 points, and she's in second. In front of her teammate, Amelie Underwood. Vanessa Roenis, reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. Oh, very good takeoff. Very good takeoff, also completely vertical. I guess the placement of her hands on the water wasn't correct because the entry is not completely clean and ripped, but very, very good dive. Now Vanessa is in first place. Her teammate, Emily Steinhagen, same dive for her. For Emily, a third place last year in this competition. And quite a mistake on this reverse somersault tuck. Completely off rhythm, coming down from the hurdle onto the board, and we see how far she jumped from the board. 42 points, and she's in third place. Not too far back, not too far behind her teammate and Rebecca Giancaglini, but still losing some ground there. Teresa Jelinkova now, same dive for the diver from Prague. Good job. Same as Emily, the diver before her. A little bit off rhythm on the board, but she does a much better job waiting for the right time to kick out of that somersault. At 302.25 points, she's right behind the leader, Vanessa Renis. Diana Carnefel, back 2.5 somersault tuck for Diana. Just 44.50 points to take the lead. Excellent dive by the Ukrainian diver. Very fast, a perfect way of getting in that tuck position. Picks up a lot of speed in that somersault. And when she kicks out, she's in perfect position. 58.80. 14 points lead for her. Signestal now. Very hard dive here. Reverse 2.5 somersault pike for the Swedish. Oh, great dive. Amazing job by Signe Stahl on this reverse somersault pike, 3.0 degree of difficulty. Very fast in the somersault, 72 points, 8 from the judges. Incredible job on this round by the Swedish. Great dive. 72 points is the best dive we have seen today by the ladies. Georgia De Sanctis, inward 2.5 somersault tuck for the diver from Rome. She got 7th this morning. All the judges agreed with 7 for her dive, 56.70 points. So let's see if she can do better. She would need 81 to take the lead. That is, with a 2.7, impossible. But excellent job on his inward 2.5 somersault tuck. And she should be in the top 3 ranked divers, I think, with this dive. She is in 3rd place at 305.35. Does not seem very happy with this dive. Well, probably she knows she could have came out better and get a more vertical dive, but she's right there in the group of the divers fighting for a medal here. You see Georgia Santis in 3rd. Well, we have Signe Stahl in 1st, Diana Carnafel 13 points behind, and Diana is 14 points ahead of Vanessa Roenis, who's in 3rd, but between between Georgia at 305 and Rebecca Ciancaglini at 300 points. Just 5 points, 5 divers for those 5 points. So big battle for a medal. 2 Italians, 1 German, 2 Germans also. The other one, Emily Senegan, is very close at 296. Well, this is going to be interesting. 2 more rounds to go. We start with Emily Forster. Back 2.5 somersault tuck. Not very fast in the somersault. She hangs on to the shins and legs as long as possible. Still, the dive ends up being slightly short. 6.5s for her. Now Natalia Pivowarska for 2.5 somersault tuck, pike. Sorry, the easiest dive of her final. 2.4 degree of difficulty for her, who was in 12th place after 2 options. Dive is nice, very sharp in the air, perfect high position, but definitely slow while somersaulting. Needed to pick up much more speed to get higher scores here. 165. Ani Szabo, reverse 2.5 somersault tuck for the Hungarian diver. Another dive that ends up being slightly short because there's no jump on the takeoff. She does not get very high and needed some extra room to get completely vertical. Nothing bad technically about the dive. It's just that strength off the board that was needed, a bit more strength off the board. Forward 2.5 somersault pike for Amelie, forward 2.5 somersault pike with a full twist for Amelie Underwood from Great Britain. It didn't appear on screen. The dive, sorry about that, 6.5 and 6s for Amelie. The rhythm on the board seemed very, very good. And by the splash, it seemed slightly short. Rebecca Ciancaglini, let's move on. Reverse 2.5 somersault pike for the Italian diver. We got a big mistake on this dive in the morning for her. Only 28 points this morning on this dive. And a great dive this afternoon for Rebecca. She's going to take advantage of this 3.0 degree of difficulty dive. Not completely clean in the entry, but this is a high scoring dive for her, 363.15. A little mistake on the previous round for her, a much better job here. Especially she did much, much better than this morning. Now on the board, we have Amy Wright, back to an half somersault tuck. Good, nice entry. The dive wasn't extremely high, but very fast in the somersault and well lined up. 6.5, 327.55. She sits in third place right now. Vanessa Roenis in we're 2.5 somersault tuck. The German diver needs 60 points to get ahead of Rebecca Ciancaglini. They were in a battle for a medal. We had 5-6 divers within 5 to 10 points that still have a chance to get a medal. Good dive by Vanessa, not an impressive dive. The takeoff is a little bit low, but the somersault is fast enough to get somewhat vertical. A very good dive, 7's not an excellent dive, so 56.70, and she needed 60 points to be with Rebecca Ciancaglini, so she's right behind her. Emily Steinhagen now. Emily, 67 points to be in the same with the same score, to get the same score as Rebecca Ciancaglini, and inward 2.5 somersault pike for her. Very good. This is a hard dive. She's the only one performing this dive in this final. Very well executed, taking advantage of the 3.0 degree of difficulty, and also Emily is right behind Rebecca Ciancaglini, just 6 points behind. So not a huge gap, and quite an advantage, but not a huge gap between the Italian and the two Germans. 4 and 6 points behind her. Now Teresa Jelinkova, 61 points to take the lead on the back 2.5 somersault tuck. Not gonna happen. This is gonna score very low. Most likely no more chances of getting a medal for Teresa after this big mistake on a back somersaulting dive. Only 37 points, and she is now 23 points behind the lead. And as of right now in the lead we have Rebecca Ciancaglini, but we still have 3 great divers to dive. Diana Carnafel is the first one of them, and then we'll have Signe Stahl and Georgia De Sanctis verse 2.5 somersault pike for Diana. Oh wow, what a great dive. I don't know, it's not as good as the one we've seen in the round before by Signe Stahl, but definitely well executed. Reverse 2.5 somersault pike. 61.50, and Diana is again in the lead, waiting for Signe Stahl to dive right after her. Here she is. Back to 2.5 somersault pike. Another high degree of difficulty for the Swedish diver. She used her hardest dives at the beginning of this final. She will finish with a forward 2.5 somersault pike, easier dive, 2.4 degree of difficulty. And another excellent job on this backward somersaulting dive by the Swedish, who is gonna most likely gonna keep the lead. And she is at 390 with 60 points on this dive. Very good, very well executed. So now we have on the board Georgia De Sanctis, forward 2.5 somersault, full twist for her. Now another dive, 3.0 degree of difficulty. Let's see what the Italian does with that. Needs 85 points to take the lead, which is most likely not going to happen. 58 points to be ahead of her teammate Rebecca Ciancaglini in third place. Huge mistake in the entry. The dive didn't pick up much speed, but still she managed to get vertical. I guess she didn't grab her hands very well, and a lot of splashes in this entry. 52.50 for Georgia, 357, and she is still in the battle for a medal. Look at this, 390, Signe Stahl keeping the lead, Diana Carnafel 378, so 12 points advantage for Signe. Rebecca Ciancaglini, Vanessa Roenis, Emily Steinhagen, Teresa Jelinkova, Emily saying, and Georgia DeSantis, they're all within 6 points between the third and sixth place. Just 6 points, and anything can happen for bronze. That's it. We're starting our last round. I'm checking what dives. As I said, Cygnus Style has what we see Emily Forster finishing her competition with a back 1.5 somersault, 1.5 twist. I told you already, if Cygnus Style finishes with her easiest dive, 2.4 degree of difficulty for a forward 2.5 somersault pike. Diana Carnefel has a degree of difficulty advantage here, 2.7 inward, 2.5 somersault tuck. Also does not have to deal with the hurdle. So the others that are battling for a medal, the two Germans have high degree of difficulty because they have a 3.1 and 3.0. The only forward 3.5 somersault pike will be performed by Emily Steinhagen in the last round, 3.1 degree of difficulty. Quite an advantage there for the German. Now on the board, Polish diver, Natalia finishing her competition with 52.65 points on the inward 2.5 somersault tuck. Well executed. 354 for her total points. Annie Chabot, also for her an inward 2.5 somersault tuck. I was looking, the first of the divers looking for a medal that is going to be on the board is Rebecca Ciancaglini. Just a couple of dives. We saw on the board now Annie Chabot finishing with a not very well executed short inward 2.5 somersault tuck. 4s from the judges for her. Didn't finish very strong there. Emily Underwood, 9th place for her after 3 optionals. Emily was at 318 and she needs 71 points to take the lead, but then we'll have to wait for everyone else to dive. She was quite behind in the rankings in order to look for a medal this afternoon. She also finishes with a dive. It's not bad, but quite short for a not so complicated inward 2.5 somersault tuck. Needed much more height there from the jump. Here we have on the springboard Rebecca Ciancaglini. Same dive for the Italian. For her this morning on this dive, only 35 points. And as for the round before, she wants to do much better here. And she does a better job on this inward 2.5 somersault tuck. It's not a great dive, not very high, and also past the vertical line. She closes at 4:11.75. That's where we have the medals at the moment. So while we watch reverse 2.5 somersault from Amy Wright, who does not have a chance here to get ahead, mathematically does not have a chance to get ahead of Rebecca Ciancaglini, and also finishes quite short. I was checking what the other divers need to get a medal. So in that medal contention we had Vanessa Rohenis, who is 52 points, Georgia DeSantis 53, Emily Steinhagen 54. And if you want to add Teresa Jelinkova to that group, 71 for her. The other two divers that were in first and second place, Signe Stahl and Diana Carnefel, need much less, 21 and 33 points to be ahead of Rebecca Ciancaglini. Let's see what happened. In the meantime, we saw Amy Wright, and now we have Vanessa Roenis for 2.5 somersault, full twist for the German diver. Well executed, not very high, but definitely vertical and quite clean. Not the cleanest entry, but the 3.0 degree of difficulty could really help her here. And she takes the lead in front of Rebecca Ciancaglini. 57 points. Very well executed forward twister. Now we have a new leader then, Vanessa Rennes, and her teammate on the board, Emily Steinhagen, forward 3.5 somersault pike. For her, 58 points to take the lead now. Good, not very high. I gotta say, she struggled a little bit on the board and then had to hold on a long time to the pike position, and she does not reach the lead at the moment. She's behind her teammate by 2 points, and it was a little bit too low. That takeoff needed more room to get a cleaner entry and more vertical. Vanessa Rohen is still in the lead, and behind her, her teammate, Emily Steinhagen. Forward 2.5 somersault, very clean in the entry by Teresa Jelinkova. Very well executed, but low degree of difficulty. She is behind Rebecca Ciancaglini at 394. So now we have in first place Vanessa Rennes 416, Emily Steinhagen in second 414, and Rebecca Ciancaglini at 411. But we have Diana Carnafel on the board with her hindward 2.5 somersault tuck, and Diana needs 37.90 points, so 38 points to take the lead. That means 5s from the judges. It's a good dive, not an excellent dive, so most likely not putting too much pressure on Signe Stahl that will dive right after her, but she should take the lead, and she does. 4:34.85 with 7s from the judges. Should have done a better job in the entry. 4:34, she has 18 points advantage on Vanessa Rennes. Now Rebecca Ciancaglini is out of the top 3, so no more medals for her. We have Signe, who needs 44 points now to take the lead on a forward 2.5 somersault pike, and she is gonna get those 44 points with this easy forward 2.5 somersault pike. Very, very high up in the air. 55.20 for her, and Signe Stahl is most likely gonna win, because I'm checking how many points does Giorgia De Santis. The last dive of the final, she was starting at 357, so mathematically with this back 2.5 somersault tuck cannot get 77 points, or she would need 9.5s to get that. She could do it. We have to see it. She needs 59 points to take a medal here. Oh, good, perfectly vertical. She could be around the scores, total scores of the Germans. So let's see what the judges say. And she, with 61 points, she gets a medal. Very excited, Giorgia De Santis there, getting bronze with this last back 2.5 somersault tuck. Oh, this has been fun until the last dive. Once again, we didn't know who was getting what medal. Amazing job by Signe Stahl, especially on the back and reverse somersaulting dives. 445.55 points for her, taking gold. And Diana Carnafel in second at 434. Giorgia De Santis in third at 419.45. Excellent job by all the ladies. It has been a very nice event to watch. Congratulations to all the ladies, especially to Signe, Diana, and Giorgia for the medals. I am Michele Benedetti. I will be back here in 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so for the last event of the European Aquatics Junior Diving Championship in Rzeszów, the Boys A platform final. See you in a little bit. back from Rzeszów, ready for the last event of Junior European Diving Championship. We have the 12 finalists for the boys A 10 meters platform final. Actually, platform final, they are not, it's not mandatory for them to dive only on 10 meters, so they will be using all three platforms. We have Svetomir Ereminov from Bulgaria, Grigorios Mitrov from Greece, Jay Bujak from Poland, Marko Barsukov from Ukraine, Jordan Fischer-Haynes from Great Britain, Petr Sauer from Sweden, Tim Axel from Germany, Danilo Vanezov from Ukraine, Isaac Worslin from Norway, Raffaele Pelligra from Italy, Ol Rösler from Germany, and Simone Conte from Italy. The boys are about to start this last final of the week and of the championship. Last year in this event, Danilo Avanezov won with 566.20 points. Robbie Lee from Great Britain is second at 541, and Isaac Worslin at 526 in third. Robbie is not at this championship anymore because he is too old for the junior age group dive. I am checking the results from this morning. We had Simone Conte won the prelims with 510 points. Oleg Rosler in second, Raffaele Pelligra in third. We have the judges on screen for you right now, and as always, they start with the scores. They start this final with the scores of the first 4 rounds of dives from the preliminary round. So we have Oleg Rosler in first, his teammate Tim Axel in second, Raffaele Pelligra from Italy in third, Simone Conte in fourth, Danilo Vanezov in fifth, Marko Barsukov in sixth, Jordan Fischer-Haynes, Svetomir Ereminov, Isaac Worslin in 10th, Grigorios Mitru in 11th, Maciej Bujak, and Petr Sauer in 12th. 5 dives for these divers. You see again the dive order on screen. It's the reverse order from the preliminary round. And once again, 5 rounds, 5 dives for the boys. Any platform can be used, 5, 7, 7.5, and 10 meter platforms. And the 5 dives to be performed must be from 5 different groups. By rule, these divers within the whole 9 dives that are used to give the total scores, they have to compete all 6 groups of dives that there are in platforms. So 1 forward, 1 backward, 1 reverse, 1 inward, 1 twister, and 1 arm stand. If you obviously having 5 dives in the optionals, they use 5 different groups, and the 6th has been used in the voluntary dives in the first 4 rounds in the prelims. We are almost ready. I can see Svetomir on the platform, on the 10 meter platform. Most of the divers are competing all the dives from 10 meters. Just 3 divers don't do all the dives on 10 meter, and these are Svetomir, that is on the platform starting this competition with a forward 2.5 somersault full twist pike. He'll do the backward 2.5 somersault on 5 meters in the 4th round, and the other 2 are Jordan Fischer-Haynes and Petr Sauer. And we're starting. A short entry for the Bulgarian diver, not particularly high on the takeoff. When he got in the transition between the twist and pike position, he doesn't squeeze the pike position very hard, so leaves the dive short. Next up, Grigorios Mitru, reverse 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twist. Not a common dive to see from 10 meters. Is the only one in these optional dives doing the reverse twister from platform. It's more common to see these kind of dives on 3 meters. It's quite difficult to spin in a reverse somersault and completely straight. Good dive by the Greek diver. He made sure he had enough room away from the platform to pass with his feet and the straight body. 7.5s, an excellent entry, 65.25 points. Next up, Maciej Bujak. Reverse 2.5 somersault tuck for the Polish diver. Degree of difficulty for him. Oh, perfect entry by the Polish diver. An excellent rip. The takeoff wasn't incredible, not very high, but this entry is the last thing that the judges see, and that was perfect. 8.5, 8.5, and 9. It's 72 points. It takes the lead. Marko Barsukov, forward 3.5 somersault pike for the Ukrainian diver. And as I was saying before, the entry is the most important part of the dive, especially on platform. Good job by Marko Barsukov on this forward 3.5 somersault pike. Not as clean in the entry as the Polish diver before him. But overall, a very good dive. He had an advantage after the first 4 rounds of dives of the morning. 66 points. He gets it 234. Jordan Fisher ends now. Inward 2.5 somersault tuck. Jordan and Raffaele Pelligra are the 2 divers in this final that are in their first year in this age group. So they are the youngest. In this case, Raffaele Pelligra, the Italian, is the youngest overall, born in December 2008. Ooh, and Jordan makes a huge mistake in his first optional inward 2.5 somersault tuck, way too far over, comes out incredibly late out of the somersault and goes over. Peder Sauer Ubred, forward 3.5 somersault pike for the Swiss diver. Excuse me, Swedish diver. Sorry, my bad. Quite short in the entry, doesn't get completely vertical and straight. Needed more speed in that somersault. Now on 10 meters, Tim Axer, inward 3.5 somersault tuck for the German diver, who had the second best score, 180.05, after the required dives of the morning. .2 degree of difficulty for him on this inward somersaulting dive. And way too far over. Not very fast in the somersault. That made him hold on to the tuck position for a long time, and he scores 41.60, only 40 points in the morning in this dive, but does better than the morning, but not a great way to start this final. Winner of last year's platform, of this platform event in Rijeka, Croatia, is Danilo Avanezov, a back 2.5 somersault pike with 1.5 twist for the Ukrainian. Good dive, very fast in the air, coming out of the twist and into the pike position. Perfect transition, slightly short, but overall a great dive. 67.20. He's in the lead at 238, 4 points ahead of his teammate. Isaac Borslin, bronze medalist last year on platform at Junior Europeans, forward 3.5 somersault pike. For him, a little mistake, well, not that little, quite a mistake on the voluntary dive and the inward 1.5 somersault pike. Only 30 points on that dive for him. An easy inward 1.5 somersault pike that where he lost at least 15 points. and he does a good job holding on to the pike position in this dive, but the takeoff wasn't strong, wasn't very strong, wasn't an impressive one. Does definitely a great job in the air, trying to get vertical. 63 points, 6th place for him. Now Raffaele Pelligra on the platform, a back 2.5 somersault pike with 1.5 twist. For him this morning, an excellent job on this dive. He got 7th from the judges, 67.20 points here. Let's see how he does in the afternoon. Bronze medal for him last year, but in the B group. Jordan Fisher won the B group last year. A good takeoff, very, very strong off the platform. The entry could have been tighter in his score to get a cleaner entry, but overall in the air, very well executed. 68.80, and he takes the lead at 248.55. Now on the platform, Ole Rosler, the leader after the voluntary dives, and he does the same thing and the same dive as the Italian diver before him. For him, 73.60 points on this back twister in the morning. And a very good takeoff, very tight when twisting and piking. Perfect twisting skills for this German diver. Perfect entry, 8th from the judges with 260.60. He takes the lead, 12 points ahead of Raffaele Pelligra. Simone Conte now, forward twisting dive, forward 2.5 somersault pike with double twist. 3.3 degree of difficulty, the hardest dive of this first round. For Simone, 85 points to take the lead. Taking some time to focus. A very good dive by the Italian. Slightly short, could have jumped a bit higher, but this dive requires a lot of speed in the twist and in the somersault to complete both the 2 twisters and the 2.5 somersaults. Slightly short, but definitely a good scoring dive. He's right behind his teammate at 248. And we have now the standings after the first optional dive. Ole Rosler in first, the 2 Italians and the 2 Ukrainians follow up, as you can see on screen. Now we start the second round of the final. Svetomir Erminov inward 3.5 somersault tuck for the Bulgarian diver, who was in 7th place. He also takes some times before the takeoff, a long time focusing there. Here he is. And goes past the ideal vertical line. The entry is not perfect. It was quite fast in the air. Needed to kick out of that somersault a tiny bit earlier. Now on the platform, Grigorios Mitru, forward 3.5 somersault pike for the Greek diver. This dive is not strong on the jump. The takeoff should have been higher with a stronger jump, but especially also the somersault. Not fast. It's short and still impact position 6.5 for the Greek diver Grigorios. Maciej Bujak, after a great first dive. Let's see how he does his back 3.5 somersault tuck, 3.3 degree of difficulty. For him, 53 points to take the lead ahead of Svetomir Ereminov, the Bulgarian diver who is leading right now. Very fast somersault. It was in perfect shape in the air, kicked a little bit too high with his feet and legs. The dive ends up going over 6, 5.5, and 5 from the 3 judges that count for the total score of this back 3.5 somersault tuck, and is at 279.75 in the lead by just 1 point. Next up, Marko Barskov, inward 3.5 somersault tuck for the Ukrainian. Oh, what a nice dive. This is going to score very high. The entry is perfect. No splashes at all in the air. He has perfect shape. 8.5, 81.60, the best dive of this final so far. 316.30 total score after 2 optional for the Ukrainian, who is doing great so far. Jordan Fisher-Eames, back to now somersault tuck. 2.8 degree of difficulty. Jordan was at 194 after the first optional. A big mistake in the first round for him. And a good dive now this time around. Slightly over back 2.5 somersault tuck. The takeoff is perfect. He's definitely capable of doing the back 3.5 somersault tuck. I guess he hasn't worked on it yet, but with this kind of jump and speed in the somersault, he could easily make it on 10 with an extra somersault. Peder Sauer, inward 3.5 somersault tuck for the Swedish diver. For Peder, well, 110 points to take the lead. It's mathematically impossible, but with a great dive can get back on track for a spot on the podium. A good dive. The takeoff isn't excellent. Takes a little bit too much time to get with his legs completely straight, but somewhat clean in the entry. 65.60. 275 is in 5th place. 71 is in 5th place. Tim Axer, 8th place for him after 1 optional, back 3.5 somersault tuck. For Tim, a big mistake on the inward 3.5 somersault tuck in the previous round. Wants to recover here. And another big mistake by the German diver. Very, very short back 3.5 somersault tuck. Didn't get enough momentum to get vertical. Only 2.5s are the awards from the judges. And with this huge mistake, after the earlier round mistake in the inward dive, most likely no chances to get a medal for the German diver, Tim. Now we have Danilo Vanezov, inward 3.5 somersault tuck, same as his teammate did earlier. And another excellent inward 3.5 somersault tuck by a Ukrainian diver. I'm not sure it's as good as the one by Marko Barskov. It is not, 3 points less, but 78.40. It is an excellent, excellent dive, and they're together at 316. Isaac Borsley now, Armsten back, double somersault, 1.5 twist for the Norwegian diver. first thing about this dive, first thing to focus on is a perfect arm stand. Hold it in good shape, perfectly vertical. After that, a good push with arms and shoulders off the platform to get enough speed to complete the 2 straight somersaults with 1.5 twist. It's a very good dive, perfect twist. Isaac does not complete the push with the arms, and the dives end up being slightly short, even a 9 by judge number 6. Not sure about that, but 7.5 is definitely a good score for the Norwegian. Raffaele Pelligra now back 3.5 somersault tuck for the young Italian diver, the youngest in this final. Only 49 points this morning for him. Is the optional dive that it didn't perform very well in the preliminary round. Let's see how he does now. A good dive by the Italian diver, much better than this morning. Not a great entry, he's not very tight in his core when getting in the water, but for a backward somersaulting dive, 6.5, 7, not too bad. At 3:14, he's right behind the Ukrainians. Much better than the morning. And now from Germany, the leaders so far, inward 3.5 somersault tuck for Ole Rosler. Ole needs 56 points to take the lead. That means 6s. And he should take the lead. They're going to be very close. The takeoff is perfect, very fast. The entry is over and arched. 6.5 for him is now 7 points ahead of Danilo Vanezov. And 6 points are not a big gap for a 10-meter platform event. So they're very, very close, and a bunch of them are very close. Let's see Simone Conte, the winner of this morning prelims, doing a forward 3.5 somersault pike. Oh, perfect entry by the Italian diver. An excellent final part of the dive. Disappears underwater with a perfect entry. 8s from the judges. And he's right there with the others. 320 points even for him. You'll see these standings now after this second round. Ole Rosler in first, Simone Conte in second, and Danilo Vanezov. But look at that, Marco Raffaele are also very close to the top 3 ranked divers. Very fun event to watch, some great diving. And we're ready for the third round. Now on the platform is Bulgarian diver Svetomir Ereminov. For Svetomir, forward 3.5 somersault pike, 3.0 degree of difficulty. Way too far from the platform. Quite slow when somersaulting. The combination of height and speed wasn't correct here. It was very far and slow. Only 6s for him. Now, the next diver is Grigorios Mitru, versus 3.5 somersault tuck. This dive requires good understanding and vision skills while somersaulting. Looking at the water while spin. Oh, what a nice entry, and he does that perfectly. Understanding by looking at the water, somersault after somersault, kick at the right time. You understand by watching the water, you understand when is the right time to kick. Grigorius does an amazing job with that. 68 points, 60 points, 8 and 8.5 are the awards for him by the judges. Maciej Bujak, inward 2.5 somersault tuck from 10 meters. We do not usually see these dives perform on 10. It's either on 5 or 7. And if you're on 10 meter with the inward, most of the divers do the inward 3.5 somersault tuck. So the degree of difficulty drops to 2.5. Quite an easy dive. And he does an excellent job. Perfect entry. A very good inward 2.5 somersault tuck. It's not going to score very high because even though he gets 8.5 and 9s, it's only 65. Well, not only, it's 65 points, which is a good score, but the degree of difficulty is quite low. An excellent execution of these dives. Marko Barsukov, 4th place for him. Let's see his back 3.5 somersault tuck. In this dive, this morning, he got 37.95 points. So this was the dive he missed with the forward 3.5 somersault pike. Let's see now. And another great dive by Ukrainian diver, doing much, much better than the morning. Very fast in the somersault and gets a very clean entry, 74 points for him. He gets a 390.55 points, setting the pace for the divers that want a medal this afternoon in Rzeszów. Jordan Fisher-Eames, done with his dives on 7 meters, is moving up to the 10-meter platform for a reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. He usually has incredible skills at understanding and spotting in the air, understanding the rotation, and getting the right time out of the somersault. And he does that once again here. Perfect kick and an incredible clean grip entry. 8.5s for him, 71.40. His best dive so far. Too bad that earlier mistake in the inward dive in the first round. If not, it would have been up there with the others in the top of the rankings. Federer now back 1.5 somersault, 2.5 twist on the 7.5 meters platform. Okay, dive by Petter. 7th from the judges and 58.80 points. Not very strong off the platform. It was not very tight in his score, but does a good job in the lineup. Now we have Tim Axer, forward 3.5 somersault pike for the German diver. And once again, not very sharp in the entries. Once again, struggling a little bit this afternoon. Tim did a very excellent job this morning, especially in the required dives. And not in great shape this afternoon, unfortunately for him. We have Danilo Avanezov now, back 3.5 somersault tuck. Danilo needs 74 points to be once again with Marko Barsukov up there in the rankings. And another great dive by a Ukrainian diver. They seem to be going back and forth, just one doing a great dive and the other one responding to it. 79 points, 8s from the judges. Incredible clean entry for Danilo. Wow, these guys are showing us some amazing diving. Let's see how Isaac does his back 3.5 somersault tuck. For Isaac this morning, he got on this dive 79 points, so 8s, just like Danilo just did. See if he repeats himself. losing quite a long time on the platform, Isaac. Oh, nope. Not as well as he did this morning. The dive ends up going quite over. And force from the judges. It just came out too late. Next up, Raffaele Pelligra. 5th place for him after 2 optionals. He's going to show us a backward armstand, double somersault, 1.5 twist. And once again, this dive requires to be, first of all, to show a perfect armstand. From there, a great push with arms and shoulders before all the twisting and somersaulting. A good armstand by the Italian. And a good dive in the air, definitely not a clean entry, slightly over-rotated. It's not going to score extremely high, and yeah, he's going to lose some ground with the top 2 ranked divers, the Ukrainians. The entry was definitely over-rotated and loose in his core. That's why he didn't get a very clean rip entry. 376 though. Is less than 20 points behind the leader Danilo Avanesov. It is a gap, quite a gap, but 2 more rounds to go. 20 points. It's quite a gap, but not a huge one. So everything is open. Forward 4.5 somersault tuck by Ole Rosler now, the hardest dive of the day, and a good execution. The high degree of difficulty is definitely going to help Ole here. 3.7 degree of difficulty, even though the dive went slightly over 6.5 for him. 74 points because of the very high degree of difficulty, and he's 2 points ahead of Danilo Avanesov. Excellent execution of an incredibly hard dive for the German diver. Now, last dive of this 3rd round. We have Simone Conte, armstand double somersault, 1.5 twist, the same dive his teammate just did a couple of dives ago. Perfect armstand for Simone. Holding it a long time. Ooh, no, too bad. This takeoff was perfect. Perfect shape in the air. They come out of the twist. He drops his shoulders and head too far down. Only 6 and 6.5. Only 60 points for him. And the 2 Italians make mistakes in their entries in this 3rd round, and they fall behind in the rankings in 4th and 5th place now. But we have Ole Rosler, an incredible forward 4.5 somersault tuck for him. Danilo and Marco in the top 3 spots, and the Italians following. We have 2 more rounds to go. Svetomir Ereminov from Bulgaria is starting our 4th round of dives in this final. He goes on 5 meters for a back 2.5 somersault tuck. I am checking the rankings so far, and we have the first 5 divers still battling it out for medals. The other ones are slightly further back in the rankings. Oh, what a great entry by Svetomir. Incredible clean entry. Perfect speed in the somersault and an incredible clean entry. Look at that. 8s from the judges. He also could, as I said about the British diver Jordan, he could easily do this dive on 10 meters. Will most likely be the next dive he'll do once he's done with this competition, because with this kind of takeoff, this perfect understanding of where he is in the air, he could easily do the back 3.5 somersault on 10 meters. Now, Grigorius Mitru, back 3.5 somersault tuck. Let's see. Good top. It falls rapidly though because it didn't squeeze his tuck position properly, and is loose in his core when getting in the water. Quite an arch there. 5.5 and 6 is at 398 in second place right now. On the platform, after Grigorius, we have Maciej Buziak forward 3.5 somersault pike for the Polish diver. On and off in this final, the Polish diver. Some great diving, also some little mistakes here and there. And another clean entry for him. Another excellent dive in this fourth round. And 7.5 for him. Perfect entry. Could have been a little bit higher. I was saying how Maciej did dives for 8.5. One dive for 8.5 nines, one for 5.5 6, one for 8.5 9. So it's been a little bit of a roller coaster of a final for him, but overall, very well executed dives, especially this forward 3.5 somersault pike. We have Marko Barcukov. He was in third place before this dive. He's doing backward arm stand double somersault. 1.5 twist. And this dive is good. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but it's not excellent as the ones he has done before. Didn't push very well off the platform. Still gets vertical and somewhat clean. 7.5 for him. He did better in the previous rounds, but definitely takes the lead here. Easily takes the lead here. And now on the platform, Jordan Fisher-Ames. Same dive for the British. Marco at 460.95 points. That means that his teammate Danilo will need 65 points. The Italians around 80 points to get ahead of him. And Ole Rosler, who was ahead of him before, 64 points. So still great dives for all of them to get ahead of Marco. Not a great takeoff by Jordan in this back armstand. It takes him, he falls just too much from the armstand before pushing with his arms and shoulders. Waits too long for that takeoff, and he's a little bit loose in the entry with his body. Not an excellent entry. 6.5 for him. Back 2.5 somersault tuck for Peter Sauer. Back 2.5 somersault tuck on the 7-meter platform. 2.8 degree of difficulty for him. And a good dive. Once again, another diver that has perfect understanding of timing and his position in the air, and not very strong on the top part of the dive. 7s for him. 389 points total. With one more dive to go for him. Tim Axer, the German diver, struggling quite a bit this afternoon in Rzeszów, is showing us a reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. A good dive. Technically his best dive of the afternoon. Not very clean in the entry, but moved very well in the air, on the takeoff and in the air. 7s from the judges for Tim. Danilo Avanesov. Now we have the backward armstand, double somersault, 2.5 twists. He's the only one doing this dive this afternoon here in Rzeszów. Very difficult dive, 3.6 degree of difficulty. Could give him a big boost, a big advantage, that high degree of difficulty. And it should definitely put him ahead of his teammate Marco. Very well executed twist. He's extremely fast in the twisting part of the dive. Slightly over, but as I said, the 3.6 degree of difficulty put him in first place at 470, 13 points ahead of his teammate, increasing that gap. Now Isaac Borslin. Big mistake on the back 3.5 somersault tuck for him earlier. Most likely no more chances of getting a medal this afternoon. He's 130 points behind the leader, more 135 points behind the leader, Danilo Avanesov. Reverse 3.5 somersault tuck for him. And good, not very high in the jump. He's very good at holding on to his legs before kicking. Still gets it a little bit short. 5.5 and 6, 59.50, and he's at 391 points. Now on the platform, Raffaele Pelligra, a forward 3.5 somersault pike for the Italian diver. For him, 96 points. Impossible mathematically to take the lead for the Italian. And a big mistake here. Very, very slow on the takeoff. And not enough room to get the dive vertical. Only 5.5 from the judges. And a huge mistake from one of the divers that was looking for a medal this afternoon. Not a great dive, much worse than the morning. And now on the platform, the leader, Ole Rosler. For Ole, 76 points on this back 3.5 somersault tuck will give him the lead. Not gonna happen. Big miss from the leader and way too short on this back 3.5 somersault tuck. Fours, only 41 points on this dive at 438 points. Is way behind the top 2 ranked divers at the moment. Let's see Simone Conte, back 3.5 somersault tuck. That mistake by Ole opened up everything for the medals again now. Non è finita, tira fuori i coglioni e prendi 8,5 su triplo e mezzo riornato. Back 3.5 somersault tuck for Simone Conte, not very well executed. He ends up being too harsh in the entry, only 54 points for the Italian. And now we have a big battle for bronze. You look at that, Danilo Avanesov, 473.15 for the Ukrainian. Marco Barsukov in second, 460. And Ole Rosler now in third place at 438. And the 2 Italians following. Now Svetomir Erminov, we have one more round to go. For Svetomir's last dive is a reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. Degree of difficulty. Svetomir is taking quite some time once again. before taking off, focusing a lot. Let's see. Slightly short. Took him a long time. Sometimes, as I said earlier this week, when they take so much time, sometimes they overthink this dive. And in this case, he ends up being too short. 51 points to finish his competition. Now on the platform, Grigorius Mitru, inward 3.5 somersault tuck. Back. No, excuse me, inward 3.5 somersault tuck for the Greek diver. 3.2 degree of difficulty. He was at 398 points after 4 optionals. Very good takeoff. He was extremely fast in the air. Incredibly fast in the air. But over rotates the N3, goes over, and 6.5s and 6s for him. He closes at 458.80. Now Maciej Bujak, the home diver from Poland, forward 2.5 somersault full twist. Oh, what a nice entry for the Polish diver. Maciej does an incredible job, has done an incredible job in all of his entries, except for one dive, the back 3.5 somersault. 7s could have been with stronger legs in the pike position, but overall a very good result for the Polish diver. Here we have the second-ranked diver so far in the competition, Marco Barsko, finishing his competition with a backward 2.5 somersault, 2.5 twist, very high degree of difficulty, 3.6. And a good job. Slightly short, but definitely the degree of difficulty is high enough to score good in this dive and put some pressure on his teammate. 7s, 75.60, he closes at 536.55. Very well executed back twist. Now Jordan Fisher-Ames, 11th place for him before this last round. Back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist, so the same dive as the Ukrainian before him, but with only 1.5 twists, with a twist less. Very well executed in the air. The jump is not the beginning, so the jump and the entry are not incredible. We've seen better from Jordan, but in the air was very clean in twisting and somersaulting. 62.40, 447 total points for him. And now on the platform, Peter Sauer, his last dive, reverse 2.5 somersault tuck on 10 meters. And Peter finishes with a good dive. Slightly short, but definitely well executed in the air. 7s from the judges is 447.80. Right in front of Jordan Fisher-Ames. Now Team Axer from Germany, back 1.5 somersault, 3.5 twist. For him in the morning on this dive, 70.95 points. It was his best dive of the day in the morning, and also from this afternoon, considering also the dives from this afternoon. And once again, it will be his best dive, also in this final. I am checking while I was watching this dive that was excellent for 8s, as you can see. Closes at 433.90. I was checking what dives the ones that are fighting for a medal are have to compete. Both Italians have the inward 3.5 somersault tuck, while the German diver Ole Rosler has the back arms and double somersault 1.5 twist. We have on the platform now. Sorry, got lost a second there. On the platform was Team Axel. Excuse me, Danilo Vanezov. Sorry, I watched this dive. I was looking at the dives from the other divers. He closes with 8s on these forward 3.5 somersault pike, taking the lead in front of his teammate, and most likely looking for gold unless some 10s are gonna be shown in this last round for the other 3 divers looking for a medal. And I am checking exactly that. Actually, not even with 10s, so definitely gold for Danilo Vanezov. The other 3 divers still looking for a medal could still get silver, though, mathematically. Now Isaac Borslin, inward 3.5 somersault tuck for the Norwegian that finishes very strong with a perfect entry. Very well executed inward 3.5 somersault tuck for Isaac. 8s. And with 76.80 on this dive, he closes at 467.80 in 4th place at the moment. And we are now in the battle for medals. Raffaele Pelligra now. For him, an inward 3.5 somersault tuck. He was trailing behind 6 and 7 points. Excuse me. 7 and 10 points behind the German diver Ole and his teammate Simone. So he first of all needs to do an incredibly good job in this inward 3.5 somersault tuck. And he does do a great job here. Very good takeoff, very fast in the somersault. That is the best part of this dive, is the speed in the somersault. 7.5, and 8 from the judges with 501.55 points. Raffaele Pelligra, the first of the 2 Italian divers, sits in 3rd place right now, waiting for Ole Rosler now on the platform. Arms and back double somersault, 1.5 twist. And Ole needs 63 points to get a medal. Perfect armstand for the German. Ooh, big mistake by the German once again in this last round. And this is way short of a dive. 4th place, 486, is behind the Italian diver Raffaele Pelligra. And now for the medals, it all depends by Simone Conte, the Italian diver. 5th place for him last year on this event. 2nd place in synchro on Tuesday with Raffaele Pelligra on the synchro platform event here in Rzeszów. He needs 66 points to be ahead of his teammate. No chances for him mathematically to take gold. Same dive as his teammate, inward 3.5 somersault tuck. Taking his time to focus. Takeoff is good. And a very good dive by the Italian, slightly short. Let's see what the judges think about this dive. And he takes the bronze in front of his teammate by just 1 point. What an incredible final on the 10 meters. Congratulations to Danilo Vanezov, 543 points. He wins back-to-back European Junior Championship in this event. Marco Barsukov, his teammate, with 536.55 is in 2nd. And look at the 2 Italians, just 1 point apart. 3rd place, bronze medal for Simone Conte, right in front of Raffaele Pelligra. And I gotta say, congratulations to all the divers in this final. Congratulations to the medalists. Congratulations to the 12 finalists. Congratulations also to all the divers that performed this week in Rzeszów. This was the last dive we just saw of the championship. It was a lot of fun. Throughout the whole week, we had events that were decided at the very last dive. Some amazing diving in Rzeszów this week. And I gotta say, especially in this last final, was incredible. And awesome competition to finish a perfect week of diving. In just a few minutes, I will be back here for these victory ceremonies of the day. See you in a little bit. here we are with the first victory ceremony of the day. Girls A 3-meter springboard final. Medals, as you can see on screen, presented by Arne Tellefsen, member of the Technical Diving Committee, and assisted by Garo Stelci from the Polish Federation. In third place, with a total score of 419.45 points, from Italy, Giorgia De Sanctis. In second place, silver medalist with 434.85 points, Diana Karnefeld. Now in first place with a total score of 445.55 points, from Sweden, winner and new European Junior Diving Champion on 3-meter springboard, there's A, Signe Stahl. You can see Signe, Diana and Georgia. Congratulations to the ladies. Now the national anthem of Sweden. Congratulations, ladies. Time for photos now, and in a few seconds, the second victory ceremony. And now the last victory ceremony of the week here in Rzeszów for the European Aquatic Junior Diving Championship. The Boys A platform final that just ended. And here are the boys. The medals are presented by the chair of the TDC, the Technical Diving Committee, the European Aquatics Technical Diving Committee, Anna Sorokina, with Gregory Stelci. In third place, bronze medal with a total score of 502.45 points, Simone Conte from Italy. Second place and silver medalist with a total score of 536.55, Marco Barczyko. Winner of this final with a total score of 543.65 points from Ukraine, Danilo Avanesov, doubling up after last year's gold in the same event. Congratulations to the boys. What an amazing event to close this week of diving in Rzeszów. Congratulations to Danilo, Marco and Simone and the others performing in that final. Now the national anthem of Ukraine. Congratulations to all the divers that perform at this year's European Aquatic Junior Diving Championships. All the events are over now. Photos for the 3 medalists of this last event. And it has been a lot of fun. To all the diving fans and European Aquatics fans, I remind you all to download the new Euro Aqua app from European Aquatics. There you'll be able to bookmark your favorite sports, follow for all the news and content about European Aquatics, and have all the news for the next year, next season of diving, and not only all the aquatic sports, everything that is going on with European Aquatics, you can find it there. So make sure you download it from Google Play and the App Store and register on it in order to not miss anything from European Aquatics. It has been a lot of fun. It has been an honor for me to be here the whole week for you and with you, watching these young guys and girls doing some great diving. I am Michele Benedetti. I will be back here hopefully in the next season, in the next diving events for you. You can see the medal table at the end of the European Junior Diving Championship. Ukraine, Germany and Italy in the top 3 spots, and Great Britain also with 9 medals. Congratulations to everyone that organized and performed in this event. Congratulations to European Aquatics for another amazing event. Again, I'm Michele Benedetti. See you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.